So we are going to make 2 sourdough loaves right now. I have all of my materials already laid out here. Typically I just kind of add them as I go, but this way I'm not having to step away and grab everything I need. I have my container here. I've already got my scale zeroed out. Let me grab a utensil. But this is Jane, and she has been working hard all morning. And we're going to do 250 grams. And that's if I have that much in here. I'm thinking I don't. So what I may do, which I've done a couple times before, is grab a little bit out of my discard and add to this. Because looks like I'm only at about 211 grams out of 250. So let's grab that because this is what we look like now. So let's grab discard. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of people would say, no, don't do that. But like I've said before, sourdough should not be as difficult as people make it out to be. And it's really not. So, 250 grams of starter. And we're going to do 725 grams of warm water. This is about 85, 90 degrees. I just heated up in the microwave for a moment. And of course, our handy dandy whisk. Absolutely love this thing, but I think I want to do a different whisk. They have some longer ones that are shaped more like this one. And that can actually get down in my starter jar. These cannot. I'm gonna go ahead and move my scale away since I already know my measurements are good because I've already measured it all out. So this here, we're just gonna mix it up until it's really milky. And just, I wanna mention before I forget, I believe this is actually the real sourdough mom's recipe. Hers is my favorite that I have tried since I've been doing sourdough. I've yet to try to make any sort of recipe on my own because I'm pretty happy with this one. But we will just mix everything up and it should kind of look like milk. And then this here is 1,000 grams of bread flour. So we'll dump all of that in. And then we will whisk this together a little bit. And it's gonna turn into like a shaggy dough, is the way it is commonly referred to. And you can kind of see what it's looking like there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my salt. This is 25 grams of salt, so we'll add that in. And I'm actually gonna grab a pair of gloves and because it gets stuck underneath my nails. And I'm gonna take my jewelry off. I've not had the experience of having to get sourdough out of my jewelry and I do not want to start now. So this here, I'm just going to wipe everything off of this the best I can. And then, as I've stated before, do not wash sourdough down your kitchen sink. That is not good for your drains. So what I do is I always have a bowl of hot water with some dish soap in it, kind of waiting in my sink. And then I kind of drop everything in there as I need to so that I'm not risking getting that down into my drain. So at this point, I'm just kind of kneading everything together just a little bit. You can kind of see what it's looking like now. But this here, the reason I used warm water instead of room temperature water is I plan on baking this tonight. It is now 2:45. I do have a bread proofing mat that I will place this on to kind of speed up the fermentation process. But I'm just taking my little scraper and I'm just trying to get as much off the sides as I can. Helps for easy cleanup later. But this here, there's people, I see people that will kind of knead this for like 5-10 minutes. And then there's other people that once everything's kind of incorporated, you just kind of leave it be. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just gonna make sure there's no dry flour throughout. And then I'm gonna leave this for an hour. And let's see if we can get a majority of this off. And almost all of mine, you will see that I've got like a pack of gloves that I use. And you can buy them online, buy them on Amazon. They even have like a Harbor Freight here in town you can buy gloves at. But this here is going to rest for an hour. Look, I've got some on the sides there. And then after an hour, we will start our stretch and folds, and I'll show you kind of what that means. I feel like most people that are interested in sourdough already kind of know a lot of the terminology. It's just kind of putting them all together and making it work. But we will be back in an hour. It has now been an hour since we mixed this up. I'm going to put some cold water on my hands and let's get into our stretch and folds. So just slap it down, scoop underneath it, slap it down, and then one last time. We do this all 4 sides, and so it should come together like that. You see that there. Now we'll put the lid back on. I will return it to our heating pad, my sourdough heating pad. If I can get the lid back on. And then we will do that again every 30 minutes for 3 more times before it bulk ferments for the longer period of time. We are here for our second set of stretch and fold. Get us some water on our hands, and then we are going to get our hand underneath the dough, pull up and stretch. My hand wasn't wet enough. Get underneath the dough, pull up, slap it down. We're going to pull up and slap it down. And then last side, we're going to flap it down. We've got some dough kind of chilling on the edge here, but that is number 2. And we will come back in 30 more minutes. This is our 3rd set of stretch and folds. So we just have 1 more. And this is what we're looking like right now. I'm gonna wet my hand. And we're gonna pull up, slap down, pull up, slap down, pull up, slap down, and then one more time. See if I can get a hold of it. Pull up, slap down, and then that is number 3. We will do this one more time, and then we'll let it rest. Okay, it is officially 5:15, and we will do our final set of stretch and folds. And then this will sit and continue to rise during the bulk fermentation period. and I'll have it on my little bread proofing mat during that time. And there we go. That is number 4. Now I've got my bread proofing mat set to, let's see what temperature, 87 degrees. So we shall see how long it takes us to do the entire bulk fermentation process on this mat. This is my first time using it for the entire process. I typically mix my dough at night and then let it bulk ferment for 12 hours from the time I go to bed till the time I get up. So this will be new for me as well. Okay, so it is 7:45 in the morning and my dough looks overproofed. It has, at this point, I would say this is probably triple in size, if not more. But in my house, we bake it anyway. So this is what it looks like right now. Let's pop it out and see what it feels like. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that if it comes out of the container without sticking, that it's fully fermented and ready to be shaped, but I don't believe that's true. I think everybody's dough feels different. So let's try to figure out how much is here. So we've got our scale. Let's see if I can even get this to sit up there long enough to weigh it. So that's 932. Versus 1022. So there's only a difference of 100 grams here. I like them to be as close as possible, but it's not really necessary unless you're selling them for sure. If you're selling them, you want them to be as close as possible. But leave it to me. I am running so far behind this morning, and instead of just shaping them and throwing them in the pan, I'm over here weighing them. I'm supposed to leave in less than 10 minutes. I've already got my car preheating because it snowed last night, or really snowed yesterday. And so it is super cold outside. I think it's in the teens right now. It wasn't supposed to get above freezing. So you gotta love that Tennessee weather. You never know what's happening from one day to the other. I'll fold it in half like this. And then we're gonna roll her up. And then just to give it a little bit of surface tension, because I do want it to puff up and rise. I'm not so much concerned about the ends, but I do want it to be longer than that. So let's kind of pull it a little bit, make it a little bit longer. And then I also want to stick into the counter. I don't want to stick to the counter and it's sticking to my hands. Yeah, see, it's overproofed, so it's not wanting to hold a shape. But that's okay. I'm going to dust a little bit with flour. And you watch, it's probably not going to cut. Oh, well, I was wrong. Already got my pans kind of chilling over here waiting for this little disaster. So that'll be one. See if I have better luck with this one. Because this one, she's got huge bubbles. we're running out of time. But yeah, I should have, if I wasn't going to, I'm gonna pop that. If I wasn't going to stay up as late as needed last night, I should have just tossed this in the fridge and let that kind of slow down the proofing. But I didn't. But either way, it'll still bake up. It'll still be good bread. The couple times that I felt like it was over fermented, my husband actually liked it much better. Okay. So this one is actually feeling much better than that other one. But trying to get it to kind of even out. I don't really like a lot of flour on the top, but just so that my lame isn't fighting to get through it, I do score it a little bit. And there we go. I always put it seam side down, and then that's what it'll look like. And then we will bake those probably in about an hour or so. But once that is done, I will come back and show you what it looks like. And check these out. You can hear them scrunching. To be overproofed, they turned out perfect. These are gonna be delicious.